Hi everybody, Rob here again, and I thought it was about time I did another question and answer because I've been getting a nice few through the old Gmail, Facebook and Instagram and stuff, so I've got them here on my laptop, my lapper, and just going to go through a few of them and square them away. So, yes, I do. I love it. I think it's brilliant. I've got a connection with some of the artists that have songs that have been featured in the show throughout all the four seasons so far. It just ticks all of my boxes of sci-fi and adventure and mystery, suspense, fantasy. It's all there. The music is amazing. Kate Bush, obviously brilliant. And the guys, Kyle Dixon and Michael Stein, I think it is, who write the music. They're just brilliant, using old analog synths and stuff in their studio to produce the sound. So they're not just going to software, they're actually going to the real thing to make the sounds. And there's a really interesting documentary on YouTube about that. So just go searching for that and you'll see. I just think it's great. It references all my favourite 80s films. And it's got a life of its own. You know, it's not just trying to live in the past. It's bringing the sort of pally thing of Goonies and all that business. You know, the kids all working together to make this thing happen, and the adults are a bit dopey and don't sort anything out, and the kids can see what's going on. You know, but I love that. It's a sense of adventure, and I think at the moment with all the stuff in the world that's happening around us that is rather unpleasant, it's nice to get lost in something like this. So Defo Brothers and everyone involved in that show, keep doing it. It's amazing. So yes, I love it. I didn't watch an awful lot of it because I was out gigging myself, but the bits that I've checked up on, and I did do a lot of flicking through loads of different bands. I can't remember a lot of the names now, but things that really stuck out are people that I like. So it kind of is obvious why I was gravitating towards them. Obviously, the dry cleaning set was amazing. I loved it. Dry cleaning, I know I keep talking about this band, but I just love what they do. I just think they're brilliant. I totally dig it, and I totally invest in the vibe. I know some friends of mine saying, "Oh, it's kind of a bit pretentious, a bit contrived and all that," but I honestly don't feel it. I feel that more about some of the other bands out there, and I'm not here to name names, but certain other bands on the scene I just don't believe. I just watch them and think, you found that's a gap in the market and you're sort of going for that. Still means they're great, but it's just not my thing. Whereas dry cleaning, as I say, I totally buy into it. I love her vocal delivery, and the lovely thing is I actually haven't found out too much about them. Even though in this day and age I could find out, their inside leg measurements and where they go shopping and everything. But I'm just, I'm not interested. I'm just being old school. I'm just letting the music speak for itself, and I'm really just into that. I don't even know the band name, members' names or anything. I just literally taking them face value of the music, and I just think it's great. So if you don't know them, check out New Long Leg, which is the last album, or their only album as far as I know. There's another one coming out called Stump Work. I think that's what it's called, in a few months' time, in October. But anyway, they were great. Jarvis Cocker, I saw Jarvis's set, obviously on TV, not live. And that was brilliant. I've always loved Jarvis Cocker. I wasn't a massive Pulp fan, funnily enough. But the solo stuff and some of the stuff he's done with bands like Air and people like that, I just think it's just brilliant. I think he's awesome. And he did a brilliant performance. It was just great. It was like an hour set, and I was just captivated by it. And a great band, interesting sounds, great lyrics as ever. He's got such a cool style on stage with his sort of weird kitsch dancing and everything. He's just cool, isn't he? So I thought that was great. And obviously Paul McCartney. Now I guess most people are going to go, ooh, but I thought he was brilliant. And I'm a fan of the Beatles and some of the Wings stuff, but I just love the fact that he went out there and, his voice isn't the strongest at the moment and probably won't ever be because of his age now. But, he's got no apologies to make. He's kind of written pop history on his own and with obviously the three Beatles. And I mean, that's not enough really just to say, oh, your performance is great. And I must admit, when I was coming home from a gig on that Saturday night, I was kind of looking at my Facebook like this, thinking, oh, how did he do? And one of the first comments I saw was from a friend of mine called Ken Dewar, who makes, no beef about the fact that he's not a Beatle or a McCartney fan at all, because he's not, and that's totally cool. And his was the first comment that I read, that he said, I'm not a Macca fan or a Beatle fan in the slightest, but you got to give it to the man for going out and absolutely entertaining the crowd for 2.5 hours, playing instruments, singing live, doing it all, sometimes holding the band down, or the crowd down with just a guitar and voicing and things like Blackbird in front of 100,000 people. It takes a lot of balls just to do that without all the live and let die moments, which were amazing as well. And I just thought that was great, and I saw a lot of people commenting like that, and I also saw a lot of anti stuff, not just about him, about loads of the bands, and I very rarely comment on stuff like that, but I just think this day and age there's so much crap going on in the world that if you don't like something, turn over. Like for me, to be honest, if it was like Adam, if it Lambert and Queen or something, I would turn over. I'm not the biggest Queen fan. My friends know that. They're an amazing band. Certainly, I think they were back in the day. But I'm not a big fan, so I'm not going to sit there and write viperous comments online all night. I would turn over and watch something else. And it just amazes me that these days people still want to sit there and do that. And it's just kind of a bit sad, really. Whether they're musicians or not, it's just like, does it really matter if you're going to slate Diana Ross or Paul McCartney or whoever? Come on, it's time to move on, really, isn't it? Just you've got probably Sky, just flick over to another channel and watch Matlock or something. Anyway, people do what they do, but yeah, there's lots of other things that I saw as well. Some very disappointed by, because I saw a lot of people saying people were lip syncing and all that business, and lots of stuff on backing, and a few bands that I put on that were more electronic, with definitely loads of that going on. But hey, it is what it is. But they're the ones that I remember that I really liked. And yeah, so great. Long live Glastonbury, long live live music. Yes, there will be some more Sunday Morning Ramble videos. I've been so busy over the last couple of months that I haven't been at the studio to record any. And they really are done on the Sunday morning in between when my students come for their lessons at the studio, or at the beginning or at the end. And honestly, they are done in one take. And the idea is, I think the premise is out there now, but the idea is that I literally sit down and just play what comes to mind without any sort of ordained ideas of what I'm about to do. Just literally go in, and if I'm upset, I play how I play. If I'm happy, I play how I play. And it's really just a very personal diary to see if, whatever mood I'm in, because only I know that, is coming across in my playing. But I decided to share it with people because you guys aren't going to know if I'm happy or sad, or maybe you can from some of the stuff that I'm playing. But yeah, it was just kind of a delve into my playing and how I play, and yeah, it's kind of a very selfish thing, but I thought along the way it could be interesting for other people to watch what I'm up to, warts and all. Mistakes, but how can there be mistakes when it's just improvised? Exactly. So there will be more of them, and thanks for the people that have connected with them and have enjoyed them. I enjoy doing them. It's an interesting insight into the inner workings of my crazy mind. And there will be more of them. So stay tuned, and yeah, there will be more. Yeah, the pad videos I record here, right here. And some of them are written down, and some of them are just improvised around the idea. So, I mean, I'm going to do a video on this, but if I pick this up here, all this stuff here is the inner workings of my mind. And there'll be more probably by the end of this year. These are all manuscript books with different drum patterns and Some are band set lists in there, to be fair, but a lot of them are just things that I write down. And there's got to be 8, 10 of those sort of books, these sort of Hal Leonard books, full of ideas. And one day, who knows, when I shuffle off this mortal coil, maybe they'll be worth something to somebody, and the inner workings of Rob's drumming brain are in here. Some ideas hopefully very, very good. Some ideas are a bit crazy. Some ideas probably just don't need to see the light of day. But it's kind of like my vault. So sometimes some of the ideas are in there, but I won't be reading it. So in answer to your question, I'm not sat here reading it somewhere off camera, because obviously you can't see from above here. But I try to... If the idea's in one of these books, I think, I'll use that. I'll play the idea, I'll play it out, and then I'll put the book to one side and try and make sure it's in my head, so I can improvise it at any time that I might need it. That's the point. So I can pull from these ideas as and when, rather than going to an old pool of information that's back here somewhere. So that's the idea with that, and to try out new things. And some of the phrases, as I'm playing them, will be improvised on the spot. I just think, that could link nicely with this, and that's the point. Again, it's a very kind of selfish way of practicing, but sharing it with you. It's kind of me doing my thing, just that I want to play, and then sharing it with you, and hopefully, don't know about hopefully, a lot of you have really enjoyed them. And every Tuesday when they come out, I'm getting some nice comments, and my YouTube clicks are going up and up, which is great. And along the way, I can share some of this info, and if you guys can borrow it too, or maybe you can finish some of the ideas off for me. Maybe that's the thing. You say, hey, look at this, my last week, this one, the one that came out yesterday, Time is Pressing. Maybe there's something on there. You can say, hey, Rob, why don't you try doing this, that, and the other? Then why not? Because music's all about sharing, isn't it? So, So that's the idea of those, but they're not all written out. Though saying that, as I say, I've just shown you all this lot. Maybe they are, but I don't sit and read them. I try and get them off the page into my memory, and then in real time in front of the camera, try and improvise using those ideas with a kind of premise that the title of the piece is giving the game away. Like flammology or dragology or rollology, all those things that I've done, and Time is Pressing. And bounce, strokeology, whatever. So that's the idea. But thanks again for, interacting with me on this stuff, because it's exciting, and I'm loving and enjoying doing them. Okay, so I'm just getting over COVID, and my head's a little bit cloudy still, but I'm getting there and tested negative now at last, so I'll be able to go outside with the humans and play music again soon with people and so on. Should be great. What did I do? Well, I got the new Batman film. My son bought me that for my birthday, which is brilliant. I was going to say Christmas then. For my birthday, which was great, so I watched that. I also watched Ghostbusters Afterlife, that I thought was brilliant. I love that. That was fantastic. Also, 2 new series that were recommended to me by Scott Hammond, who's a good friend and a great drummer. He plays with Jethro Tull at the moment. Well, he has done for years. The new Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, was one, and the other was The Orville. And I've started writing all this stuff down, because I do this stuff to camera and I forget. So that's why I'm looking at my laptop, because otherwise I'll forget, and I'll sit here going, it was so-and-so. So, yes. And also documentaries. I've really got into checking out loads of documentaries online with Amazon Prime, Netflix, and iPlayer or whatever. And I had to write some of them down. I saw a great one on the poet John Clare. That was amazing. One on Hitler's stealth bomber that he was designing. That's incredible documentary. Also another one on whisky, but not necessarily how it's made or where it's made, but how it interacts or has interacted with culture and people socialising together, and how it's brought people together. So that was really interesting, because I love whisky, and there's some over there bought for me by my friend Phil. So thanks, Phil. When I feel more like it, I'll have a wee dram. I also managed to catch up on Mystery Science Theatre, which is one of my favourite shows in all of the whole world ever. If you don't know it, check it out. It was on Netflix, but there's loads of it on YouTube, and they've got their own website. But it's just so funny. I started watching it back in the 90s when I was on tour with Modern English, actually. We'd get to our motel or hotel rooms, and I'd get to the room and put it on, and it would be on, I think it was on the Sci-Fi Channel then, on rotation all the time. and there was like these three heads, and then the main screen of the movie, and there was silhouettes of these three heads, and they're what they call riffing over the movie, the sort of thing that we do when you're sat watching something and start commenting, and people say shut up. But yeah, anyway, so I used to do that with my dad, watching movies, taking the mick out of what was going on the screen. And then the show was suddenly doing it, and it was like, yay! So I caught up on the new series of that. Also a documentary on M.R. James, Cocteau Twins, Connie Plank, and another one called The Jazz Loft. There's loads. Anyway, you don't need me to list and stuff. But any questions about any of the stuff that I've just mentioned, documentaries, let me know, and I can send you the links. But anyway, that's what I did. I caught up on some of that, and also listened to some amazing music as well. Tried to go out of my comfort zone of, certain artists and styles, and find some new music. So I kept myself busy. That's a good question. Ooh, damn it, I should have a better answer for this. I've had time to think about it too, right? I tell you what, I was doing a rehearsal the week before I went down with COVID, and I've kept the same Remo Emperor heads on my toms for a good year or two, and I'm not a heavy hitter, so I don't pit them very often. But in the centre, they're nicely marked up with the brown and black strokes that you get, on the head, and they're playing in and they're getting warmer. And I like heads when they get warmer, especially on the toms, because it can get a bit more retro sounding, and I just kind of like it. But anyway, I changed up the 12-inch Remo Emperor, and they're all coated rather than clear Emperors. And I put it on my 12, and all of a sudden that 12 started to sing again. And I'd forgotten how cool it is to put new heads on, and how you get an extra bite out of the sound. So it might be a bit dull, but actually heads, especially on that 12-inch tom, just made it sing in a way that I hadn't heard, obviously, for a year since the heads were new. So yeah, I can't think of anything else. I'm sure there's something else, but nothing's springing to mind. So yes. Oh, can I say that I'm really glad that people got into the under the influence of Buddy Rich thing. Been getting a lot of love about that, and me and the guys at Drum Dog are really happy that it came across the way we wanted it to, especially me when I designed it and wrote it, because many things are said about Buddy, good or bad and ugly or whatever, and you must make up your own mind. I'm not here to, or on that show, I wasn't trying to make you go one way or the other. I was just giving a different alternative to some of his jazz phrasing. And I know some people aren't fond of his version of funk rock type stuff. They find it a bit naff. I love it. And as I say, when I was listening to those albums like Roar of 74 when I was 10 or 11, he was speaking my language, because I was in the garage playing along to like Teardrop Explodes and The Police and Blondie, Stranglers, The Beatles and Gary Newman and Haircut 100, and that was all straight feel. Nothing was in sort of shuffle time or swing time. So when I suddenly heard Buddy playing that feel, it was like, boom, this old dude is doing stuff that I can now relate to. So listening to Buddy tracks like Big Mac and Birdland, Kilimanjaro Cookout, Time Will Tell, No Jive, Jesus Christ Superstar, all that stuff. I just suddenly connected with it, and that was like my Buddy. And there will be a Buddy Rich clip coming up shortly of me talking about my Buddy over the next few weeks. I can't think when it is. I think it's sometime in August. But yeah, no, thank you. And there will be another one. I don't know if we can say who it is yet, but or can we? Yes, we can. Probably. I don't know. If it goes blank here, I can't. But if it doesn't go blank here, and I say the name Ian Pace, then you'll know who the next one is. And they're all influences of mine. Ian Pace is another massive. Oh, hi. Ian Pace is another massive influence of mine. So Ian is going to be the next one, and I can't wait. I've kind of already started jotting ideas down when I had COVID, some ideas. So he's going to be the next one. But as I say, thanks for watching, and we're just trying to get into these players that have influenced me. But I want to bring out some of the less obvious things about their playing, or they seem less obvious to me. Things that you might be able to get into and go, I didn't know so and so did that. So there we go. No, unfortunately, I don't have any tours lined up at the moment. Everything I'm doing at the moment is in rehearsal or in the studio, or I'm doing remote sessions and just one-off gigs around the area. So no tours lined up with anyone, I'm afraid, at the moment. But the minute I do, I'll certainly let everyone know, and you'll be the first to know. Okay, I'm going to do a standalone vid on what I'm listening to at the moment, because I've got some vinyl that I want to share with you that I'm quite excited about. But yes, I will answer that question, but it probably will be in a standalone clip, so watch this space. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of questions from, which I've only just become aware of, about my old Bosphorus cymbal range. The XTs, but also some of the standard ones that I used to use when I was with that company. And some of you are leaving comments still on YouTube on those clips, and I can't remember the weights. People have been asking me weights and sizes, and I'm not ignoring them just because I'm not with that company anymore. I love those cymbals, and they were great when I was working with those people and that organisation. Lovely people and great cymbals, but to be honest with you, I cannot remember what they were. I'm just thankful people are still watching the clips and enjoying the drumming as well as the cymbals. And if it makes you want to go out and buy those cymbals, great, and I'm just glad that those clips are there and people can still relate to them and enjoy them. So I can't remember anything about them apart from that. Okay, so that answers a few questions. I think I'm pretty much up to date. If I've missed any, I'm sorry. I will get those on the next time round, on the next batch. So thanks for watching. As usual, leave some comments, stay in contact and say hi. It's always good to share info, and if you have any questions about any of the stuff that I've talked about, then please let me know. As usual, take care guys, enjoy music, enjoy life, enjoy drumming, and I shall speak to you soon.